Hey everyone, welcome back to Owlchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe so you can be first to know when all those new videos come up. And if you're a return subby, I really appreciate it. Thank you. So this is going to be your general weekly reading for June 14th through the 20th, just to see what's going on. And then I'll have an extended version for members on Patreon, okay? So you can head over there if you want to become a member. So pull some cards. We're almost out of Mercury retrograde, not necessarily completely out of the woods, but once it gets out of retrograde, it also goes into its shadow phase. So almost there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull some general cards for overall energy for the week, for money, career, and then love, and then also kind of communication, what you kind of need to be aware of. So first and foremost, out of the gate, we got the Four of Wands in reverse. So to me, there could, ooh, hello. Talking about being sideways. Sorry about that, everyone. So this week, there could be some discomfort on the home front for many of you. I would say try your hardest not to be too argumentative this week, upcoming week. Like I said, you know, Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of tension and just frustration in general. So just be careful that you don't start an argument or a fight just for no reason, just because you're pissed off. But there could be the home front could just feel a little bit uncomfortable and not settled. So for some of you, you're trying to go through things, get rid of things, you know, maybe there's just tension between siblings or your kids, but arguments could just kind of pop up more this week. So I would just be kind of like, stay away from unnecessary drama and draining your energy. For many of you, it's kind of a hard situation because you know that you have to make a decision or there needs to be a conversation and you've been holding back because you know it's going to create discomfort in the home front. That could be with your partner. The Two of Swords is saying that you do need to ultimately make a decision. Like trying to pretend that it's just going to go away is not going to happen. So take the blindfold off. Drop the swords and see the situation for what it is. If you want improvement, if you want change, you have to sometimes be that conduit of change. You have to be the one to speak up and say something. That doesn't mean you have to be confrontational, but it does need, you need to air out the situation. You need to say something, do something, mainly because it will just start to fester and become worse, okay? Communication-wise, this actually, the Knight of Wands came out. What I'm going to say is this is not the week to charge into any conversation and just assume that you're the right party. Okay, I know that's really hard. Like as an Aquarius, we always think we're right. But the problem is that this is not the time just to come in and tell people what they need to do and how to change, because that can just ruffle feathers. And it may not actually resonate with the person that you're trying to communicate with. So the Knight of Wands can be very like fiery, passionate, you know, kind of like more feisty type of conversation. Your tone might be a little bit more aggressive this week. So if you want to kind of try to calm the waters and not it to be like a complete war zone in the home front, just watch your tone. It may not be necessarily what you're saying, it's how you are saying it this week, okay? So on the money front, I do see that money looks relatively good. I mean, King of Cups is, you know, usually an energy that indicates that you're starting to put time and effort and money into or investing in yourself, creativity. There's a part of you that there has been holding yourself back a little bit, and you're starting to see that, you know, the best investment is you, 100%. The King of Cups is also, what I would say is just keep in mind, this is not the week, again, to emotional buy. That's not the right saying. It's almost like you're trying not to shop based on your emotions. And I know that there's a phrase and I can't just think of it right now, but this is not the week to like splurge or just spend because you feel like you have some money in your account or some cash in your wallet and you're like, well, let's just spend, let's go. This is actually the week kind of to be a little bit more conscientious about where your money is coming and going. So just because you have some funds doesn't mean you have to say to spend it. You can save it for a rainy day or on yourself, that prolongs your future. Okay, so just keep that in mind this week. Career, Magician looks really good. I think for a lot of you, you're starting to make the necessary changes and looking at ways to bring change in your career, in your environment. So for some of you, you're looking to say, you know what, I am ready to take that next level in my career or in leadership. Maybe I want, gunning for a higher level role that has more responsibility. Maybe it's a senior leadership position within an organization. You're starting to network. You're starting to get yourself out there. You're starting to kind of work your magic, so to speak, the magician, to get people to notice you. And I really see in the career zone, a lot of you are being noticed in the right way. People are starting to see that you're a go-getter, that you are very proactive, and that you're determined, and also a very team-oriented individual. So that's team player, basically. So you're not just in it for yourself, but in a way you kind of are. But also, this is making shit happen. You're not just sitting to wait to see what happens for you. You're not letting somebody dictate how your career is shifting and the direction you want to go. You're actually making things happen. You're making the decisions that are taking you from A to B to C to Z, okay? Now, love this week. This is actually Six of Swords in reverse. To me, this is relationships might be a little bit more rougher waters this week, and that could indicate this kind of an overall energy, like the home front, like you're just kind of, maybe you don't feel like love is on the most stable ground. That's not for all of you, but for many of you, I do feel like there's some communication that needs to happen with a partner, especially if you're with someone that you've been holding back. And what happens when you do that, you're only putting the burden energetically on yourself, because sometimes these individuals don't know, like you're pissed off or you have a bone to pick and you've like been holding it in and you're just like, why haven't they understood that I'm angry? Well, if you just don't say anything, a lot of people are not clairvoyant. They're not going to pick up on that. So I think for a lot of you, this is, relationships are not the smoothest right now. And I feel like it's more one-sided. So have that adult conversation, be open and communicate. And again, it's your tone, so keep that in mind this week. If you're single, I don't feel, again, like relationships are necessarily like top priority, but if you do meet someone, take it for what it is. This is still retrograde. We're in the thick of it, so I would say this is not the time to start anything. For whatever reason, I feel like whoever you meet, you need to kind of keep your cards close to your chest. Don't overshare this week with somebody you don't know. Really get to know them before you start sharing details of your life. I don't know why Spirit wants me to tell you that, but that's the case. Also, for some of you, single-wise, I feel like you guys might have people coming toward you, and you might have individuals that are approaching you or reaching out to you, but I don't think anyone's really caught your fancy yet. No one's really gotten your attention where you're like, I really would take the time to get to know this individual. I think for many of you, you're like, oh, that's okay. Hard pass. And they're probably going to be great for someone else, but just for you, you're just like, yeah, I just don't see, I'm not attracted, or there's no chemistry, or I'm just not interested. And that's okay. Just be polite and honest and be respectful and just kind of keep it moving, right? So overall, I see that this is kind of a week where you do need to be open and communicate if something's bothering you. Don't push something that's just not there. If something's not unfolding naturally, that's okay. Don't try to force anything this week. Also, keep a little bit more mindful on where your funds are going. Don't overspend just because you get like this emotional urge to go out and go to the mall or buy online or whatever. Just kind of keep your eye on like your money, where it's going. And then as far as career, I'll just tell you, keep getting out there, keep being noticed, and keep raising your hand, because the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? Or the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But again, this week, overall communication, watch your tone. That is key. It is not always what you're saying, it is how you're saying it. This week, there is a high probability for unnecessary arguments and disagreements and misunderstandings because of tone and assuming. So be open, communicate, and again, watch your words. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't follow me on Instagram and TikTok, do so because I post quite a bit there and you'll get free insights and readings. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week.